Disco Elysium turns traditional RPG mechanics into pure narrative adventure. The game includes a ton of dialogue and statistics management. On the PC, you control the character by clicking on the surrounding objects, while the last console version lets you control the hero directly. However, the user interface is a bit more difficult to navigate with a controller. The PS5 version was also released with a handful of bugs, but numerous patches have come out and fixed most of the issues. Diablo is mostly considered a PC property, but the first entry also appeared on the original PlayStation. Diablo 3 began consolidating a few years after the PC was released. If your only experience with Diablo is playing this on consoles, it might seem crazy to think that people on PC are clicking on the battlefield and controlling their characters. The upcoming Diablo 2 remake is also coming to consoles, and will definitely use analog sticks to control the character. StarCraft represents almost all the RTS games on this list. People may forget about it, but the first game saw a port to N64. While it was a seemingly impossible endeavor, the studio did its best to bring the game to consoles. Not made to play on an RTS-type controller. There are so many systems and shortcuts you have to manage in order for a controller to keep up with the fast-paced game. Things are definitely shaking up in favor of consoles when it comes to this game. When the PC was released, the game became virtually unplayable right to the point it was taken out of the store, while the issue was resolved. While the game is now repurchasable, Batman Arkham Knight still has a lot of issues on PC. Ultimately, it is preferred to be played on PlayStation or Xbox consoles. We have plenty of time until the release of Suicide Squad. Now is a good time as ever to play it again. Wasteland 3 is an epic post-apocalyptic RPG, in which most missions have several outcomes that could drastically change the game world. On top of console ports that started with more bugs than PC versions, playing with a controller is also a bit less comfortable. You have to navigate the menus with analog sticks that are less intuitive than a mouse. Although less than ideal, it's still a great RPG. Team Fortress 2 was released with Half-Life 2, a collection that includes 2 episodes in Portal, the Orange Box. While the console versions received several updates, the PC version eventually evolved into a free-to-play multiplayer shooter, featuring micro-transformations and lots of cosmetics. Those who want a pure Team Fortress 2 experience can open the Orange Box's PS3 or Xbox 360 discs to play an older version without updates. What started as a Half-Life mod eventually went to a life of its own. It's a culture dominated by so many PCs that few are aware of the game's console existence. There's probably a reason you haven't heard much about them. The pinpoint accuracy required for this Steam-based first-person shooter game makes a controller inadequate. – 2016's Doom does a great job of translating classic Doom gameplay into a modern gaming environment. Doom Eternal does more than just take the action forward. Lots of mechanical attachments and focus on resource management that further encourages jumping into wild action. Unfortunately, new weapons and gestures make it easier to play with a mouse and keyboard than a controller. Controls are more complex than your typical first-person shooter game. The original Deus Ex was a fine mix of first-person shooter gameplay, RPG mechanics and massive interactive levels, built for a highly dynamic experience. The PS2 port did its best to bring the ambitious game to consoles. It made some compromises by breaking down the levels into chunks and adding geometry to hide load times. One of the most notable mechanical compromises is the simplification of health by the elimination of individual limb damage. With Cyberpunk 2077, there is too much to explain here. Just know that for the moment, experience is extremely low on consoles compared to PC. Basic PS4 and Xbox versions are virtually unplayable. The PC version still has room for error, but at least it looks amazing if you have a game system ready for the task. At the very least, playing the current version on PS5 Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the page.